Which is better, the LG Stylo 5 or the LG Stylo 4? Well, in this video, we're gonna find out. Follow me on Instagram at KevinBreezeTV. Please join the Kevin Breeze Tech community on Facebook to chat about budget smartphones, ask questions, and help others. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my hands-on comparison video between the LG Stylo 5 and the LG Stylo 4. Now this version of the LG Stylo 5 was just released today. This is the Cricket wireless version of the device, and this version of the LG Stylo 4 is the Amazon Prime exclusive phone. This device is factory unlocked, which means that it's not connected to any specific carrier. It would be best to put the unlocked LG Stylo 5 against the unlocked LG Stylo 4, but this is the only version of the LG Stylo 5 that's out so far. Now, once the unlocked version of the LG Stylo 5 comes out, I will be, the first person to get it, and I'll definitely be doing another comparison video. But in the meantime, this is what I have. Now, this version of the LG Stylo 5 from Cricket Wireless is available for $229.99. And at the moment, there are no specials or port-in deals available for the phone. So when I bought this, I created a new line. So I paid the $229.99 for the device. I also had to pay for my first month of service. And then there were also taxes and an activation fee. So out the door, I paid a little bit over $300 for this LG Stylo 5. Now the LG Stylo 4 Amazon Prime exclusive phone is still available on Amazon.com. And you can buy this for $250. Now the device is available factory unlocked and it works on both GSM and CDMA carriers in the US. So you'll be able to use this with AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint, as well as the smaller prepaid carriers such as Cricket, Boost, and Metro by T-Mobile. So with this device, you can use any carrier and you can easily switch from carrier to carrier. But with the Cricket wireless version of the LG Stylo 5, it is locked to Cricket, so keep that in mind when you buy it. Now both devices feature 1080p displays coming in at 6.2 inches. And the displays look pretty much exactly the same. It doesn't seem like one display is better than the other display. And I would bet that these displays really are identical in all ways. Now the good thing is that the display on the LG Stylo 4 is already really good and super competitive, so I don't think it would have even been necessary to upgrade the display with the LG Stylo 5. You can see that it's super clear, and of course it is 1080p, which is great to see on a budget smartphone. So definitely a very good looking and competitive display with the LG Stylo 5, but at the same time it is the same display that's found on the LG Stylo 4. Now you'll see with both devices there is no notch at the top, and the form factor here is exactly identical. So I'm assuming that a lot of the same parts that were used for the construction of the LG Stylo 4 were used with the construction of the LG Stylo 5. Now one of the cool things about the LG Stylo 5 for Cricket Wireless is that they have this exclusive color called Blonde Rose. Now typically I don't buy pink phones to use. However, my iPhone XS Max is rose gold, but that's more of a goldish color than this blonde rose. But it is cool to see that there is an exclusive color here that you can get from Cricket Wireless with the LG Stylo 5. Now this is the black color for the LG Stylo 4. It has a pretty interesting texture on the back side. It's definitely picked up quite a few scratches over the last year that I've had this phone, and it picks up tons of fingerprints. I have noticed that with the LG Stylo 5, it still does pick up some fingerprints, but not nearly as much as the LG Stylo 4. So overall, I do like the material on the back side of the LG Stylo 5 more so than the material on the Stylo 4. So we'll have to see over time how many scratches the LG Stylo 5 picks up. Now if blonde rose is not your thing, then you can definitely go with platinum gray as an alternative color. So as I mentioned before, both phones feature a 1080p display coming in at an 18:9 aspect ratio and a PPI count of 390. So both phones are really great for watching video content, whether that's on Netflix or YouTube or maybe Twitch even. And if you're not a fan of notches, then you're gonna love both of these devices because there is no notch here. Now the devices do have decent sized lips on the top and bottom, but that doesn't bother me very much, and I think overall both devices have very good designs. Now up top here, both devices have 5 megapixel front-facing cameras. In a separate video, I'm going to be doing a photo and video comparison between the two devices. So we'll have to see if there really have been any improvements with the front-facing camera on the LG Stylo 5. But if I had to bet right now, I don't think they really changed the camera at all. I think it's literally the same exact camera from the LG Stylo 4. The same goes for the camera on the back side here. So with both devices, we are getting 13 megapixel cameras. You can see there is a little bit of a difference here though with the camera module itself. With the LG Stylo 4, the camera and the flash are kind of two separate little circles there. And the LG Stylo 5 has the camera and flash kind of in one single module. I don't think that really impacts, though, the performance of the camera itself. Both devices feature 32 gigabytes of internal storage, but with the LG Stylo 4, you get microSD card storage up to 512 gigabytes, and with the LG Stylo 5, you get microSD card expansion of up to 2 terabytes. So if you have an extra terabyte and a half of stuff you want to put on your phone, then you're gonna have to go with the LG Stylo 5. Now, neither of these two phones feature wireless charging, but we do get fingerprint sensors on the back of both. And the fingerprint sensors work very well. Nice and quick and instant here on the LG Stylo 4. We'll try this out on the LG Stylo 5 right now too. And there you go, super fast on both devices. And the placement of the fingerprint sensor is very easy and convenient, so that's really awesome. Now, neither of these two phones feature portrait mode with the rear-facing camera, which is unfortunate, but you do get portrait mode with the front-facing camera on both phones. I really don't understand why we're not able to get portrait mode on the back cameras here, because you really don't need two cameras to get portrait mode. We've seen this already with the Google Pixel 3a, and the front-facing camera isn't a dual camera, and we're able to get portrait mode with that, so why can't we get portrait mode with the rear? I don't understand. Now, both devices here feature 3 gigabytes of RAM. Now, there are some versions of the LG Stylo 4 that feature 2 gigabytes of RAM, but this version does have 3. And the LG Stylo 5 from Cricket Wireless also has 3 gigabytes of RAM. That's really good, but I would have really liked to see 4 gigabytes of RAM with the LG Stylo 5, but I'll be addressing those concerns in a separate video. Both devices feature the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 processor, so the same exact processor. Video recording for these two devices maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second. With the LG Stylo 4, we get a 3300 mAh internal battery, and with the LG Stylo 5, we get a 3500 mAh internal battery. So we get 200 mAh of extra battery capacity with the LG Stylo 5. The LG Stylo 4 features Android 8.1 Oreo, and I have not seen any indication that this phone will ever be updated to Pie. And the LG Stylo 5 features Android 9 Pie out of the box. So if you want the newest version of Android, then you're gonna have to go with the LG Stylo 5. So as far as the specifications of these two devices go, the only difference between these two is that the LG Stylo 5 features the ability to expand the storage with an SD card up to 1.5 terabytes extra over the LG Stylo 4. The LG Stylo 5 features 200 mAh of extra battery capacity, and the Stylo 5 runs Android 9 Pie. And the LG Stylo 5 for Cricket Wireless is available in blonde rose, and that platinum gray color is also a new color that we didn't have with the LG Stylo 4. So those 4 differences are the only differences, at least on the spec sheet, that differentiate the LG Stylo 5 from the LG Stylo 4. Now, like I said before, I'm going to go outside pretty soon and adventure outside of this office and do a video and photo comparison between these two devices. So it's possible that we might see an improvement or maybe even a downgrade in photo and video quality with the LG Stylo 5 over the LG Stylo 4. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a separate video, and it's going to be a very comprehensive video where I provide some deep analysis with the cameras of these two devices. So now that we've gone over the specifications of these two devices, let's now compare the hardware. So we already kind of went over the hardware on the front here. So the two devices feature the same 6.2-inch display with no notch and an 18:9 aspect ratio. Literally everything on the front of these two devices is the same, and if you looked at them head to head, it'd be kind of hard to tell which phone is which. On the left side, we have the volume rockers, and we have the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. Now, one difference is that you can see that there is this little break in the metal band here, and we don't have that on the LG Stylo 4 on the bottom here. Both devices do have that little break on the top though. And on the right side, we just have the power button. On the top, we have the noise canceling microphone, and on the bottom, we have the stylus, and you can see that those are actually a little different in layout. We have the speaker, we have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer, we have the microphone, and we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. So you can see also on the bottom here, there are some little differences. We have 2 breaks on the LG Stylo 5, and on the LG Stylo 4, we have 1 break. Now taking a look at the back side of these 2 phones, we have slightly different materials here on the back. So they're both plastic, that's one thing that's for sure. But you can see that the texture here and the look on the back of the LG Stylo 4 is certainly different from that on the LG Stylo 5. But overall, we have the same layout here with the 13 megapixel rear-facing camera, the flash, and the fingerprint sensor. Let's now do a speed test comparison between these 2 devices. So we're going to start by pulling up the camera. So 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like they were about the same with starting up the camera. It was really hard to tell which device was faster than the other at starting the camera. Let's now pull up Google Chrome. So 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like it was about the same too with pulling up Google Chrome. Let's go to yahoo.com. 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like it might have been slightly faster on the LG Stylo 4, but honestly, I might have just tapped on the Stylo 4 slightly earlier, so it was pretty close there. Let's go to engadget.com. 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like in this test here, the LG Stylo 5 was quicker at starting up Engadget. And you can see that scrolling is pretty smooth with both phones. They're both pretty responsive, so that's a good thing. Let's pull up this opinion piece right here. 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like the LG Stylo 4 is faster at pulling that up, but I might have tapped on it slightly earlier. So overall, they're both pretty close here. So performance is very similar here. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because the Stylo 4 was never a slow device. It was never the fastest out there either, but it wasn't slow and still isn't. Now, one more thing I do want to show you is the stylus on the 2 devices. So we'll pull out the one on the LG Stylo 4 first. You can see that when you pull out the stylus, you get an option here for Pop Memo, Capture Plus, GIF Capture, and Pop Lens. We'll pull out the stylus on the Stylo 5 as well. And on the Stylo 5, we have Pop Memo, Coloring Book, Draw Chat, and Quick Memo Plus. And let's compare the actual styluses themselves to see if there's any differences here. They're definitely different in shape, but other than that, they're pretty similar. So it's hard to tell if one is even better than the other. It just looks like they're shaped a little differently to fit into their devices. So these 2 phones have a lot in common, as you can tell. Honestly, I don't even know if the LG Stylo 5 deserves to be called the LG Stylo 5. If anything, it's just a very minor upgrade over the LG Stylo 4, but like barely an upgrade. So maybe they could have called this the LG Stylo 4 2019, or just call it the LG Stylo 4S, or something like that. But I'm not sure if this really deserves to be called the LG Stylo 5, just because it's barely an improvement. I mean, you'd think this would be like the next generation. I think going into this, a lot of people had expectations that the LG Stylo 5 would be a dramatic improvement over the LG Stylo 4, just like how the LG Stylo 4 was a big improvement over the LG Stylo 3, and the 3 was a big improvement over the 2, and the 2 was a big improvement over the 1. This is really the smallest improvement that we've ever seen from one Stylo phone to the next. And I feel like LG let a lot of people down with this device just because people had big expectations. And when things about the LG Stylo 5 started leaking out, it started to become very clear that there wouldn't be much improved with the Stylo 5, but I don't think anyone really expected this device to have the same processor, the same amount of RAM, the same amount of storage, the same cameras, the same everything. I mean, there is really not much new here with the LG Stylo 5. And I'll talk about that more in another video. This wasn't really meant to be like a rant video, but more of a demonstrational video showing you the differences between these 2 phones. So I hope you appreciate that and found it to be helpful. Now, we still are waiting for other versions of the LG Stylo 5 to come out. We're still waiting for the Metro by T-Mobile version of the phone, the Boost version of the phone, and the factory unlocked version of the LG Stylo 5. And it's possible that this phone might be making its way to other carriers as well, but I haven't seen any rumors about that so far. But as usual, I'll be sharing any rumors I hear about other versions of the LG Stylo 5 on my Twitter and making videos about it on this channel, so keep an eye out for that. Now the good news is that the LG Stylo 4 is still a competitive phone, So the fact that the LG Stylo 5 is similar to the LG Stylo 4 doesn't mean that this phone is outdated. It really is not outdated. It's just that I was just really hoping that this would be a nice either evolution or advancement from the LG Stylo 4, but this is like literally the same thing as the LG Stylo 4. But maybe the other versions of the LG Stylo 5 that are coming out will be upgraded from this. In some ways, I hope that's the case, but in other ways, I don't, because I don't like it when there's different versions of a phone, even though the phone has the same name. Like for example, if the Metro by T-Mobile version of the LG Stylo 5 has 4 gigs of RAM, and then this has 3 gigs of RAM, it just makes it really confusing for everybody. So overall, I hope there's some consistency between the different variants of the LG Stylo 5, whether those are the different carrier versions or the factory unlocked version of the phone. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.